Good morning, dear hearts. We're on lesson 318. Please subscribe. And today is the second in this series of lessons about salvation. Obviously, we've had many lessons about salvation in part one of the workbook. And we're continuing because this is the importance for us to understand. We are the Alpha and the Omega of salvation. It is because we had the doubt of not knowing who we are, believing that tiny mad idea, believing we were apart, we were separate from our Father, separate from the wholeness and the oneness in which we were created. And in that moment, salvation was given to us, and again, it is synonymous with forgiveness, was given to us for us to find our way back home and to heal our mind that believed something that was not true, was not real. In what is the final judgment, the last judgment, it begins telling us that Christ's second coming gives the Son of God this gift to hear the voice for God proclaim that what is false and what is true has never changed. The truth of who we are has never changed. We believed it had, we lost our way, and immediately, as soon as that problem occurred, we were given the answer. We were given salvation. We were given the Holy Spirit. We were given the means to find our way home. So when we accomplish that, when our mind is healed, because this whole course, this whole world is about the healing of the mind of the child of God, when that has been accomplished, now salvation will no longer be required. So we are the Alpha and we are the Omega. In me, salvation's means and end are one. In me, God's holy child, are reconciled all parts of heaven's plan to save the world. What could conflict when all the parts have but one purpose and one aim? To heal the Son of God, to heal the child of God. How could there be a single part that stands alone, or one or more or less of less importance than the rest? Which takes us, I'd say, immediately into our very first principle of miracles, which I mentioned the other day, that there's no order of difficulty if in miracles one is not harder or bigger than another. They are all the same. This is how we must realize this path back home is not more difficult for one than for the other, and that all of the sonship is seen as one, and there is not one of us that is more important or loved more, and there is not one of us who is less important or loved less. Our Father loves all of us equally and greatly, as the final part of what is the last judgment told us. This is God's final judgment. You are still my holy child, my holy son, forever innocent, forever loving, and forever loved, as limitless as your creator, completely changeless, and forever pure. Therefore, awaken and return to me. I am your Father, and you are my child. You are my son. We are all loved in that equal, limitless way. I am the means by which God's Son is saved, because salvation's purpose is to find the sinlessness that God has placed in me. In yesterday's lesson, I follow the way appointed me, the fourth line in the first part. But when I willingly and gladly go the way my Father's plan appointed me to go, then I will recognize salvation is already here. Salvation has already been accomplished. I was created as the thing I seek. I am what I am looking for. It is not outside of me. There is nothing outside of me. There is nothing outside of any of us. I was created as the thing I seek. I am the goal the world is searching for. I am God's son, his child, his one eternal love. I am salvation's means and end as well. Our holiness blesses this world. My salvation is my recognition of wholeness for both me and for everyone else. And in wholeness, that means there is not one single part that is apart, that is alone, that is separate. And not one part of this, of the wholeness of our Father's mind, is less important than the other. We are all one, and it is in that equality that we find our true peace. We find our home. We find what we have indeed been searching for. That's, again, why this is a journey without distance, because it is already within us. Let me today, my Father, take the role you offer me in your request that I accept atonement for myself. Accepting atonement for yourself, for ourselves, is the one requirement for the teacher of God. A teacher of God must accept the atonement for themselves. That is what we must do if we choose to recognize and identify ourselves as a teacher of God. For thus does what is thereby reconciled in me become surely reconciled to you. Whatever I have, I'm going to give. When my mind is reconciled, when my mind is whole again, when this has the child of God, the mind has been reunified with his, and we recognize our true one self, we have accomplished why we are here. And now we can lovingly, willingly, happily go home. We must understand who we are, what we are. And until we do, we will search ceaselessly for something that is already within us. When we understand the salvation of the world depends on me, within me. It's nothing outside of me. It is within me. Now I am on my way to the healing of my mind and all minds. It's sometimes a tough recognition. It's sometimes something we deny, but it happens to be what is true. And what is true has never changed and never will. Truth is true. Nothing else is true. And I'm not supposed to do this, but at the end, I've posted to my blog, goodmorningdearhearts.com. And if you are struggling, have been struggling with election, go visit my blog. Hopefully it'll help. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please comment. Please smile. Please breathe. And please be here tomorrow. Namaste.